Hey, it's Mike from The Mike Wagner Show. Thanks for tuning in to The Mike Wagner Show on Anchor FM. If you're interested in sponsoring my show, you can send me an email to themikewagnershow@gmail.com, or you could also donate to the podcast. Just go to the Donate Listen site, and you can also donate whatever you like. Anchor is the easiest way to make a podcast. For those who are interested, Anchor can give you everything you need in one place for free, which you can use right from your phone or computer. We got creation tools, allows you to record and edit podcasts so it sounds great, and they'll distribute the podcast for you so it can be heard everywhere. Spotify, Apple, Google, many more. And you can make money from the podcast with no minimum listenership. So download the Anchor app for free or go to Anchor FM to get started.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Sonic Web Studios specializes in custom web design, app development, social networking, search engine optimization, domain registration, email marketing, online stores, and more. Since our birth, we have been designing and developing immaculate websites and providing web solutions which are a cut above the rest. As a leading web designing enterprise, we have a team of extremely talented web designers who are well-focused and have the experience of working on multiple web developing platforms such as PHP, Magento, custom WordPress, and more. Sonic Web Studios has been helping businesses of all kinds, whether big, small, established, or startup, impress their audiences with exemplary web solutions. We don't just create beautiful and functional websites. We give you a complete online solution with the main goal of enhancing your yearly revenues. We aim to give your business the online exposure and brand acknowledgement that will help you in achieving increased conversions leading to profitable sales. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention The Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
It's now time for the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, YouTube, iTunes, Anchor FM, Radio Public, and themikewagnershow.com. Mike brings you great guests and interesting people from all across the globe. So sit back, relax, and enjoy another great episode of the Mike Wagner Show.
Hey everybody, it's Mike from The Mike Wagner Show. Powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking for a professional website without breaking your budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today at 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention The Mike Wagner Show. Get 20% off on your first project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on themikewagnershow.com and over 25 podcast platforms, including Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also catch the Mike Wagner Show on Anchor FM, Radio Public, iTunes, Google Play, Apple, and more. Take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Also follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter, and keep up to date with the Mike Wagner Show on Facebook for major updates. We're here back once again with author Carla Bass of Write to Influence. She's got a fantastic update for us. She's a retired Air Force colonel, one of the few women to make that grade with 30 years active duty. Also, a speaker conducting highly acclaimed workshops for government agencies, corporations, private businesses, and basically, if you want to learn to write better, pay attention. So live, ladies and gentlemen, from the Plus Studios in her wonderful home, returning once again to give us a major update on Write to Influence, Carla Bass. Carla, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us once again.
Howdy, and thank you for the opportunity to chat with your audience.
And thank you as well, too. You were fantastic last time around, and, of course, you're the author of Write to Influence, and you basically are teaching people about how to write better, how to be more communicative, and also, according to a website, and basically it's how to craft a clear, concise, and compelling message. And of course, with all that, you just did something really major as well, too. And before we get into the latest update, quickly tell us how I got started.
When I was a lieutenant colonel, I was a squadron commander in Hawaii. I had 480 super talented men and women in my unit. When I arrived at that assignment, I discovered that the 324th Intelligence Squadron was the most losing unit in the entire state for Air Force quarterly and annual professional awards. The thing was, it's not that they didn't deserve to win. They were losing all the time because immediate supervisors were not skilled in putting forth winning nomination packages. So you could have been the most brilliant staff sergeant or lieutenant, but if your boss couldn't tell your story in that award submission, then you lose. So that was hurting good careers. It was hurting their families. So I took 3 days vacation. I sequestered myself in a beach cabin, analyzed my writing, and that's where I developed my word sculpting tools. I turned that 3 days worth of cogitation into a handbook and then a 1-hour workshop, and I taught my 480 guys how to write. And almost instantaneously, we began sweeping the awards. Once they learned how to tell the stories, then we were in the game. And what amazed me was how hungry the entire Air Force was for that. There was this gigantic vacuum. Everybody was suffering from the same difficulty. So I ended up teaching my writing methodology for the next 15 years.
Wow.
To thousands of people wherever my assignments took me. Write to Influence and word sculpting went along with it. It had nothing to do with my jobs. It's just I had this capability. The word had gotten out there, and that's how I began this particular journey.
That is amazing, too. And, of course, your battle cry is powerful writing changes lives. And tell us more about that and why that battle cry.
Well, it does, because in the 324th, that was a pivotal point in my own life, because that's where I saw the distinct correlation between success and powerful writing. I've had testimonials over the years now from people who had either I taught myself or they had gotten a copy of that original handbook, and they said, Colonel Bass, if it hadn't been for you, I wouldn't have gotten into officers training school, wouldn't have gotten the Congressional Fellowship, wouldn't have gotten this amazing award. If you can tell a story powerfully, it opens doors to opportunity that otherwise wouldn't have opened. Mm-hmm. So powerful writing does change lives.
Yes, that's right, too. And, of course, it applies to a lot of things, not just writing stories, but college applications, resumes, the most important writing tips and reports, memos, proposals, and of course, what else?
Exactly. Input to your own performance reviews. People characteristically abhor that task. But most bosses will turn to you and say, "Hey, it's time for your performance review. Give me some input." Well, this is a chance for you to forget humility, just own your success, and submit it using my writing strategies and the word sculpting tools, and you can help yourself professionally by giving the boss just super hard-hitting fodder. But you have to know how to do it.
Mm-hmm. And of course, what was that one moment that precisely influenced you into writing the book, Write to Influence? So what was that one moment to say, okay, I'm going to write this?
Well, when I retired from the Air Force, this thing, it was a part of my soul. Once I recognized the power of writing and how it changes people's lives, and it's the lifeblood for business too. I spent the first 5 years when I retired. I diddled with it, and then I didn't diddle with it, off and on. And I finally asked myself, I said, okay, Carla, you either get on the stick and write a book, or you flush it from your system. One or the other. Make a decision. And again, a double negative. I could not do it because I had seen so many improvements, so many people helped by this gift that I have. And that's what made me actually, sit down and say, okay, write the book, figure out how to publish it and get it out there. So, if I get hit by a truck, I know I have done everything in my power to get this methodology out there and to teach people so that they can have opportunities.
Mm-hmm. And a great opportunity indeed. We'll have you talk more about the book as well as an update. But first, listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today at 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 10% off your first order. Now 20% off if your first project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com. You can check our Facebook page at Facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, Radio Public, iTunes, Google Play, Apple, and over 25 podcast platforms. Take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Also follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. We're here with author Carla Bass of Write to Influence here on the Mike Wagner Show. She's a retired Air Force colonel, one of the few women in the generation to make that grade, 30 years active duty, and speaker. Also runs highly acclaimed workshops for government agencies, corporations, private businesses, and more. And once again, let's talk about your book, Write to Influence. And, once again, for those who did not listen last time, once again, tell us more about the book, Write to Influence.
Sure. It just came out in its second edition. So actually tomorrow is its birthday, first anniversary of the second edition. Huge difference between the first and second edition. So what's the difference? The second edition now has 70 more pages than the first one, and that reflects all of the material that I developed for the workshops that I've taught for the past 2 years. So there's new chapters on how to frame a winning argument, how to do an elevator speech, the essays for college applications, in addition to chapters on resumes and giving presentations. I also have a collection, I call them my Baker's Dozen collection. You know, Baker's Dozen meaning 13 tips. Mm-hmm. So I have a Baker's Dozen each for 13 tips to compose a compelling email, 13 tips for strategizing your job interview, how to nail a job interview before you even set foot in the door, cover letters that resonate, Baker's Dozen for that, resumes, Baker's Dozen for post-interview thank you notes, and then a powerful writing for successful organizations, 13 reasons why organizations need a staff that can write really powerfully. So there's so much new material that I've developed that's been incorporated into the second edition. I'm super proud of it.
It sounds like it, too. We're happy for you as well, too. And how about on social media as well, too? It's like, what are some of the tips you offer as well, even if you type up a Facebook post or Instagram or Twitter?
Well, on Instagram and Twitter in particular, I'm not so up on Instagram, but with the Twitter, every single space, every single letter counts in that. That's where learning to write with focused precision really, really comes in handy.
Mm-hmm. And it sure does as well, too. Many people on social media as well, too. And of course, not only you've added so much to the book as well, too, and the big update that you have from the first to second, that you won a gold medal, and a big congratulations. And
yes.
Let's hear more about it.
I thank you. The baby, it's my baby, it's my child. But Write to Influence now has won 5 national level awards. The most recent was last month. It's called the ELIT, E-L-I-T Book Award, and it got the gold medal for education, training, and academia. The other 4 awards that it's received were in categories of business and careers. So this whole Write to Influence concept applies to business, to personal education, to kids in high school. So it pretty much covers everybody.
Mm-hmm. And, of course, it started in 2017 with the Reader's Favorite Award, the Honorable Mention Occupation, followed by the Best Book Award in careers as well, too. And it just keeps going up and up. I mean, my goodness. And also 2017 Next Generation Indie Book Awards, and, of course, 2018 ELIT and 2020 as well. Bronze medal, gold medal, and I guess the question is, what's next for you?
Well, what's next? I'm expanding the horizons. Because of this COVID mess that we are all encumbered with, workshops are pretty much on hiatus. So I'm expanding into webinars. So I've been giving webinars in lieu of the workshops. I'm also transforming the whole Write to Influence book into a full-up self-paced course. I'm about a third of the way in that process, but I'll be really pleased to announce that when it's completed.
And we're looking forward to that as well, too. We'll talk about what's coming up as well, too, for author Carla Bass. But first, listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com. It's powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today at 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com. You can check our Facebook page at facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, Radio Public, iTunes, Google Play, Apple, over 25 podcast platforms. Check the Mike Wagner Show at any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Also follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. We're here with author Carla Bass of Write to Influence here on the Mike Wagner Show, and just winning the Gold Medal Award in the 2020 eLit Book Awards. And also we talked about what's coming up as well, too, in 2020, and what some of the other plans you have for us in 2020 and beyond. And can we expect another book from you, or maybe a third edition of Write to Influence?
Well, I'm already, third edition is most likely. I've already begun adding to the second edition. Someone had asked if I could write some information on thank you notes, especially the post-job interview thank you notes. Well, I had no idea how popular that subject was going to be. So I've written and have had many articles published both in national level hard copy magazines and in online venues about the ins and outs of the strategy of how you write a thank you note. I can see another chapter on the interview, the job interviews. This is a golden opportunity, and the person who comes out ahead is the person who actually strategizes what three messages do I want to weave into this conversation with the employer with whom I'm about to interview. And most importantly, what's the last message I want to leave as I walk out the door? What's the final message I want to resonate as I depart? So it's all about strategizing your message and then planting the seeds. So I can see a chapter on that as well.
Mm-hmm. And also there's people that are taking workshops, also seminars, and you also have newsletters. And how can people get with you on workshops, seminars, webinars, and everything else? What can they do?
My email, my website is www.write, W-R-I-T-E, write2influence.net, N-E-T. And my email is carla@write2influence.net. So you can reach me either through going through the website to get the newsletter, or just email me. The newsletter, it's a monthly newsletter. It's really short, concise, and it focuses on writing tips. And I don't bother anybody except for that newsletter. The other thing is I developed a new workshop on grant submissions. Oh. And that was hugely popular as well. So there's a chapter in the second edition on here, the ins and outs and how to strategize a winning grant submission.
That is amazing. I never thought about that. Grant submissions. That is very unique. I really like that. That is amazing as well, too. And just a couple of things with author Carla Bass. Who do you consider biggest influence in your career?
Biggest influence in my career. I've had two fabulous mentors when I was a junior officer. The first was General Hayden, who went on to be the director of CIA, and the other was General Clapper, who went on to be the director of national intelligence. So they were both colonels when I met them. So from my active duty times, I had two incredible mentors. My parents were also a huge inspiration. My father was a retired Air Force colonel, so it was under his influence that I decided in seventh grade. Seventh grade is when I decided I wanted to join Air Force intelligence. And that's no lie. This is the Vietnam War. My mom kept wagging her finger at me, saying, "Don't ask your father any questions because he can't tell you." And she did that once too often. I thought, well, hell, I'll just join it myself. And so seventh grade, that was the vector, Air Force intelligence, and I never looked back.
That is amazing as well, too. And what's the best advice you can give to anybody at this point?
Learn how to write powerfully. My issue is that academia, no ding on the teachers are all heroes, but academia nowadays, it produces students, it produces graduates who write fat. The idea is give me a 5,000-word paper, so you figure a little bit of meat and a lot of fat, fluff, and I can get the 5,000-word mark. The problem is when you come out of academia, you're roadkill, because now in this business environment, everybody is so busy. You have to write with precise focus, concise, precise, and quick, and get off the dime. And people don't know how to write like that anymore. So if you can learn how to write this way, it's a life skill, and it applies to everything. It applies to bloggers, because everybody's busy. You have to get your point across quickly. So bloggers, or yourself in a professional career, we talked about the grants. Anything you write needs to be focused and concise. So that's my advice, especially to the young kids. Learn how to write, and it takes work. The word sculpting. So imagine you're a sculptor in a studio. You've got the beret and you've got the tools, and you're looking at a 6-foot statue or a 6-foot chunk of marble. Because you're a master sculptor, you know the image in there. So tick, 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 and there goes the rubble. There's your statue. It's the same thing with word sculpting. Once you've got your draft, then you go through sentence by sentence and you apply my 10 word sculpting tools, which are part 2 of the book. And you get rid of the useless words, the redundancies, the words that hog space, and you go from 5 pages of fluff to 2.5 pages of solid meat, and you bought yourself 2.5 more pages to make your case.
That is an amazing story and amazing advice as well, too. We'll definitely apply that. Once again, author Carla Bass of Write to Influence with an update, winning a gold medal in 2020 in the eLit Book Awards. Carla, big thank you for your time. You've been fantastic as always. Looking forward to having you again soon. Keep us up to date. Once again, tell us about your upcoming projects, what's your website, how do people contact you, and where can people purchase your book?
The book is available online, Barnes & Noble, Amazon, and if you happen to get one, please post a review. Those are golden for an author. The website, again, is www.write2influence.net. Email Carla@write2influence.net. I'm on LinkedIn and Facebook and so forth. And Mike, thank you again for this opportunity.
And thank you as well, Carla. Once again, Carla Bass of Write to Influence. A big thank you for your time, and you've always been fantastic. Look forward to having you again soon. Do us a favor, keep us up to date, even if it's a third time, and looking forward to having you again soon. You've been fantastic.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Sonic Web Studios specializes in custom web design, app development, social networking, search engine optimization, domain registration, email marketing, online stores, and more. Since our birth, we have been designing and developing immaculate websites and providing web solutions which are a cut above the rest. As a leading web designing enterprise, we have a team of extremely talented web designers who are well-focused and have the experience of working on multiple web developing platforms such as PHP, Magento, Custom WordPress, and more. Sonic Web Studios has been helping businesses of all kinds, whether big, small, established, or startup, impress their audiences with exemplary web solutions. We don't just create beautiful and functional websites. We give you a complete online solution with the main goal of enhancing your yearly revenues. We aim to give your business the online exposure and brand acknowledgement that will help you in achieving increased conversions leading to profitable sales. Call 1-800-303-3960. or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Thanks for listening to the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes, YouTube, Anchor FM, Radio Public, and themikewagnershow.com. Please support our program with your donations at themikewagnershow.com. Join us again next time for another great episode of The Mike Wagner Show.